Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
You worked for 6 months for Sports Interactive,
I did.
Football Manager.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How did that happen? What did you do?
Yeah, so I was the lead talent partner at Sports Interactive. So the way it worked is, as anyone knows, it's the gaming arm behind Football Manager. So it was dream job alert. I was actually at Bulk and I was quite happy at the time when I was with them and I'd started doing content. So weirdly, the content that I was doing, I thought would be a bit of a spanner in the works because I was doing football content as well. And even though I don't swear or I don't really take the mick a lot, it's like, do they want someone recruiting for Football Manager to say how bad Harry Maguire played one week? Do you know what I mean? It's like I wasn't sure how they'd feel. So no, I went there to be their inaugural talent partner before they would do all their recruitment through an agency. And I worked with them through that. And the job itself was fine. I think it was in the gaming world more than I expected it to be. I thought there'd be more marketing or more like copy or things I was used to, but learning about like, I can't even remember the words now, but like C++ and all this kind of like coding language, I just didn't understand. And my job initially was to come in, embed a framework or introduce a framework, embed it, and have them run with it and let them just kind of come to me when they needed to. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. It ended up being quite like micromanagey from various different angles. Some people just didn't understand why I was there. Some people didn't want to understand why I was there. So it was a bit of a pushing a boulder up the hill exercise. And I think the main problem that I faced was they're owned by Sega. So every good thing that happens in the company has to run through them. And unfortunately, that includes recruitment. So as soon as I've got an offer out to someone, a candidate for a job, I have to get that offer in by Tuesday, one week, in order to get it signed off for Tuesday the following week. If I miss that deadline, I'm pushed back 2 weeks. And in any sort of recruitment market, I can't really wait that long, especially with certain roles. So it took a while to get used to that. And then there were instances like if I'm honest, like it was perfect on paper. It wasn't right for me in the end. And we ended up parting ways like fairly, like there's no bad blood or anything. But I think it was going to get to the point where if I stayed, it wouldn't have been a very nice place to be. I think for me, just like mentally, it just wasn't the right place for me to join. And I think culturally, I didn't really fit in. So yeah, it didn't annoyingly, like I would love to tell you it was like I learned so much about the game and I learned some how it works and the ins and outs. They kept everything close to their chest, didn't really want to divulge a lot, and it was quite difficult if I'm honest. So I look back at that with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, unfortunately, and kind of wish I stayed at Bulk, which is a bit of a I'm not sure if that's the way you wanted that
Mate, it's, honest to God, it's so important, especially for like we see our demographic for the podcast, and we see that a lot of our viewers are young, impressionable men, right? And it's important that when they're looking at people like you who have got a relatively decent amount of success in what they're doing, that it isn't all sunshine and roses when you go into this world. And sometimes you'll go and find a job and you'll think this is the absolute pinnacle of everything that I wanted, and it just doesn't work out that way sometimes. And it's how you pick yourself up and move on from that, which is really a testament to what you've done. Is you've gone from something that, like you said, left a little bit of a sour taste in the mouth, and you've made it into something that was, or something that is so fun and so informative and so entertaining.
No, I appreciate that. And
it's a good thing.
No, I appreciate it. And I think I look back at FM and I as a standalone time, it was difficult for me. But then just because it was bad for me doesn't mean it was bad for anybody else. Like someone else could have come in, different mindset, different set of skills, and would have actually loved how it was. And it suits a certain person. That just wasn't me. I'm not saying a certain demographic or a certain this. They weren't biased in any way. There was nothing weird like that. There was actually a good bunch of people. It's just the work and the way of working just didn't suit me. So I know that there were certain people there that I didn't get on with. There were certain people that I did. But I think it was good to come out of that experience and be like, you know, I'm not gonna, put it on anyone or put it on me either. It doesn't. Sometimes things just don't work out, and it doesn't mean I have to look inward. And I looked inward a lot for the first couple months after it because that's what you do. And I felt, pretty down about the whole thing. And I thought, it was my dream job. Where do I go now? And you naturally find that, but after a while it's like you just have to accept things happen that are beyond your control, and you just got to move on. and then moving on meant going to various different places, and it has done throughout my career. Really, I've been made redundant 3 different times, and you've had to pick yourself up when you fall in, and it's not easy, especially when you're living alone and you'd rather have someone there to help cushion the fall a bit. But I look back at it and I think, you know what, I wouldn't change who I am now. So if that means changing that, then I wouldn't change it at all. I'd rather stay kind of where things are.
And so I've done a lot of recruitment for my job, for my real world job. I have to recruit people to work for me and to work with my clients. And one of the very first things that I say during any recruitment meeting, whether it's first stage interview or final stage interview, is it can't be a one-sided relationship. If it works for me, but it doesn't work for you, I'm not going to get the best out of you. You're not going to get the best out of yourself.
Exactly.
And conversely, the other way around, if it works for you, but I don't feel like it's working out for us as a company, it's never going to have that symbiotic relationship. So it has to be entirely a joint thing. And if one of us is not feeling it in any way, suddenly it's not the dream job that you thought it was going to be anymore from either side. So I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah, and I think it's just important for people to know their own worth as well. Like I know I'm not perfect. I know where I went wrong or where I could have done better. But had I done those things, I would have lost what I think I could have brought and what makes me good. And if that means I would have essentially had to mold into exactly what they wanted, I would have probably lost a lot of me in the process. And I just think it was better for everyone to part ways. And I've had that with a few jobs, but again, no skin off my nose. I think it's good to have these experience, I guess, even if it's one after the other. It is still good to have them.
I assume earlier when you said that they didn't really divulge into the game, which you didn't really play Football Manager that much, did you?
No, I loved it. So it was oh my God, I was obsessed. So Football Manager 2. Do you guys remember this? I don't know if you guys played it as well, but like I started in 06 and 07. Those are the first two I properly remember. But it was when I remember before when it used to tell you how many hours you spent on the game, and it had like a little indicator, like a status thing.
Yeah.
So I remember I must have spent over weeks on that thing. On my 2007 one, I spent weeks on that thing. Took Wolves to the Champions League final in 4 seasons. It was class. But I remember it used to say like, oh, you need to check on your underwear or turn it inside out. It makes it last longer, stuff like that. I was in. And then I still think to this day that 2008 was the best one for me. I still think that's my favorite. But the game engine for me changed when they started making it 3D and when they made key highlights. It was either a goal or something else weird. I didn't like that. I actually liked the fact that it could be just a mad save or it could be this. And I used to have Vincent and Yema in my goalkeeper, and he would save everything. So or like Jimmy Walker for Walsall. Them two are my ones. But like now it's like you can kind of predict it too much, and I didn't like it. Like if I could go back on an old engine and play 08, I would do that quicker than playing the 2024 game. I'll be honest, but that's just me.
Do you have an all-time favorite Wonder Kid?
I was just going to say that.
Wonder
Can I tell you mine while you're thinking?
Yeah. Go on.
Johan Gurkov.
Yes, good. 2007.
Yeah. He was my absolute go-to on every single save. Every single save.
Gurkov was good. What about you, mate? Do you have one that you thought of that?
As a Liverpool fan, I brought Samuel Yessel to the very tops of the.
Oh yeah, he was good. He was actually good. Who was mine? I was a proper South American Wonder Kid person, so I remember signing Pablo Piatti from Estudiantes. He was class. Curlon from Cruzeiro was brilliant. But you know the one that stands out genuinely is Fraser Campbell. I played I played I played a Walsall save in 2008. And I loaned him from United. I remember this so vividly. It's funny because he liked my reel the other day, and I messaged him saying thanks for so I remember loaning him. He had like 17 finishing and 18 agility and like 18 composure. I was like, okay, this is cold. So he was a focal point of my Walsall FC attack. He took me through to the Prem from League One, I think, because I had him on loan recurrently. And then finally, like he was a free agent and I signed him. He was worth 48 million. And he scored in the Champions League final against Barcelona. And I just remember like no other player in the world is gonna make me root for them as much as Fraser Campbell did. And he never got injured. He never mouthed off in the dressing room about not getting any talented players in. He was always good about a budget. He took a crap wage. Yeah, I just loved it. Fraser,
Did he,
you know, Fraser
did he
Campbell's
go
my
to
number one.
Cardiff in real life? Is that where he ended up? He went to Cardiff.
Yeah, he
didn't
went Hull, Cardiff,
Yeah.
Journeyman,
Sunderland.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went a few. Huddersfield, I think he went. Yeah, he went a few. But nah, Fraser's my guy. I'll always back him for that.
Shout out Fraser Campbell.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
message him after this. I did message him, but I want to message him again.